Good morning, good afternoon, and hello wherever you may be hailing from today. Glad to have you. If you made it here, we're going to be talking about how you can earn a 5x return on your marketing investment. Give you guys a couple of minutes to join. Hey there, Jesus. Glad you could make it. We're talking marketing advice and tips today, specifically onboarding communications and how you can earn 5x return on your marketing investment. And I want to jump into the thick of this. We've been talking about onboarding communications this week. My name is Robert, founder of ROMI Interactive, where I aim to teach business owners and entrepreneurs how to attract and keep happy customers, partners, and investors. And one of the keys to this is your onboarding communications. Once you've attracted a customer, that you continue the relationship with them. And so I'm going to drop some knowledge on you here and simply state that it is 5 times easier and less expensive to sell to one of your current customers than it is to attract a new customer. Let me repeat that again. It's 5 times easier and less expensive to sell to one of your current customers and keep them happy than it is to attract a new customer. That is a given marketing fact, well reported, well studied. You can look it up. It's all over the place. And I have a specific example that illustrates that principle and puts it into practice. I'm going to share that with you today. But another way to put it is that, in other words, it costs you $5 for every $1 that you get from attracting a new customer versus selling to a current customer. So again, I'm Robert Vicola, ROMI Interactive, and if you're on today, I want to help teach you how to attract and keep happy customers. That's what I'm all about, and that's what I love doing. I've got about 15 years of marketing experience, and I've worked for large companies, I've worked for small companies, technology companies, local service, home service providers, nonprofits, and one of the things that thrills me the most is seeing a business owner put in, just do some practical marketing that helps grow their business and generate new revenue and keep their customers happy. And that's what I'm all about. And that's why we're on this journey together. So when we're talking about onboarding communications, we talked about this yesterday. This is really a great way to reduce churn and increase retention. So think about a bucket being your business. You have your bucket, it's filled with customers, but along the way, a couple holes got poked in it, and that's your churn. Customers are falling out. The businesses that fail are the ones where they end up spending too much money attracting new customers while their current customers are being neglected and falling out at the bottom. And so one of the things that I love to do, that I want to help people and business owners and entrepreneurs do, is set up proper marketing to your current customers to keep them happy, to keep them attracted to your organization. And so a lot of that starts with onboarding communications. If you're in a recurring revenue model, let's say someone purchases your product once a year, or maybe it's once a month, or if you have multiple product lines where if they purchase one, then they might purchase another. Same thing goes for physical stores, whether you own a cafe or a restaurant or a local shop that sells goods, and you know that customers who purchase one product may be likely to purchase another product, then you want to implement an onboarding communications plan. And whatever that time frame is between purchases, whether it's a year, a month, or a week, your onboarding communications, especially in the welcome phase, will typically last for about the first 25 to 30% of that time frame. And so, excuse me, when we're referring to onboarding communications, we're talking about 2 core things. The first thing is we're talking about continuity of the relationship and the trust that was built during the prospecting phase. Continuity of the trust and the relationship that was built during the prospecting phase. I don't know if any of you out there are fans of Breaking Bad, but I love how Walt and his partner formed a relationship with Saul Goodman, the lawyer. If you recall, sometime I think around the end of the first season, maybe the second season, they took Saul out into the desert. Saul thought he was going to die, and as a last gasp effort, he tells them, "Put a dollar bill in my pocket, and you will have client confidentiality rights. And really what he's saying is extend $1. If I earn your trust, you become a customer. And by being a customer, I'm going to take care of you. So there was a continuity of relationship there. And I think it's really practical here that when you're in the prospecting phase with your customers, you're building an impression, you're attempting to gain their trust. And a sign of that trust is when they finally hand you over the money. And the worst thing an organization can do is spend a ton of money on marketing and advertising and getting somebody in the door, and then boom, they fall off the face of the earth the minute the customer purchases. And there's nothing worse feeling than a customer who's bought something and then doesn't have the support of the organization. So that's the first thing that we talk about in onboarding communications, is extending that trust, that continuity of the relationship. The second thing we talk about is success in making your product or your service sticky. So that means you're setting up your service in such a way, you're setting up your product in such a way that you're making your customers want to come back for more. So let's talk about a use case so I can show you how both of these principles were put into practice with this particular company's onboarding communication strategy, and specifically how with very little investment, after they captured me as a customer, they were able to sell me after the fact. A little bit of a disclaimer, I do want to let you know that I am not affiliated with this company. This company doesn't even know me. They probably don't even know that I exist. I'm just a happy customer, and as a marketer, wanting to provide you guys more information on how you can put practical marketing guidance into practice in your companies. I thought this was an excellent use case. So let's start off with a story. About a year ago, as an independent consultant, I was an independent consultant for about 2 years before I formed my corporation. And for about 2 years, I got absolutely hammered on my taxes because you end up paying much more in taxes as an independent consultant than as an employee of a corporation. So I was talking to my tax guy, and one of the things he asked me is, have you been tracking your mileage? I had a few clients where I went to work in their offices on a regular basis, and I said, well, I haven't really been tracking it per se, but I could create a spreadsheet and we could kind of go from there. And so he talked to me about how easy it is to be audited by the IRS when you are tracking your mileage if it isn't done properly. So I went on the web, I did some searching, and I found a company called MileIQ. If you're a business owner and you can write off your mileage for taxes, this isn't tax advice. I can't give tax advice, and this isn't a tax column. It's a marketing column. But if you have the ability to write off your taxes, you want to check out MileIQ. It's a mobile app. It's on both Android and iPhone. And essentially, it tracks your comings and your goings. You give it access to the GPS on your phone, and every time you start and end a trip, it keeps track of that. And then it provides you an option to swipe left if it's personal use of your vehicle, or swipe right if it's a business use of your vehicle. And so what I really love about this is that it's an easy way for you to track your mileage and get write-offs at the end of the year when you're doing your taxes. Now, how they're set up is it's a freemium model. So you can download the app for free and you can use the app for free. And this is where their onboarding communications comes into play. During the welcome phase of their onboarding communications, the first thing they get is a welcome email. Your welcome emails are really, really simple, and they should do two core things. They should welcome your new customer, and then they should repeat the highest level value proposition that your product or your service has to offer. So last week, we talked about value propositions. And so if you haven't seen that video, refer back to in history of my video list, and you can learn all about value propositions. But really simply stated, it is a single statement, an easy to understand statement of the highest value that your product or service provides to your clients in their minds according to their needs. So whatever their needs are that your product serves, it's the highest level one of that. And so their email addressed, they welcomed me, they thanked me for downloading the MileIQ app, and they repeated their value proposition, and that was it. And one of the other keys that when we're emailing our customers that we want to make sure that we're doing is that we absolutely get straight to the point, that the emails are easy to understand, especially if there's instruction in them, and that we get rid of any and all what I would call salesy or flowery language. In other words, we've already sold them. We don't need to give them an email that's 3 or 4 screens deep and really showing that we don't value their time by trying to continue to sell the same product that we already sold to them. So the welcome emails, they're simple, they're clear, they're to the point, they're spoken in plain English, they welcome me, and they repeat the highest level value proposition. Now, from there, email 2 is going to come on the second day. And email 2 is serving similarly as a quick start guide. So they're basically pointing out the greatest features that they have in their product that I should be aware of and that I should know how to use. So again, if you're selling a product or an online service, you should be communicating with your customers about all the things that they could potentially do with your product or service, or any things that they could potentially gain later on from your product or service. Email 3 is where I really love it, where they're basically saying, hey, you're on your way. You've already banked some miles, and here's how much your miles are worth in terms of tax refund. So if I went 100 miles, they may say something to the effect of, that's worth $35. Make sure you swipe right to mark those off for business. And then in email 4, is when things got pretty interesting, because in email 4, I realized that the freemium model only allowed you to drive so much. So it was an email that, again, was simple to understand, easy to the point, in plain English, and then it basically showed me using information that, hey, you've hit your 20 drive limit. So you don't really realize how much you drive until you download and use an app like this. But essentially, as it was tracking my coming and going, after about, I want to say 7 or 8 days, I hit that 20 drive limit. And it basically said, hey, you hit the 20 drive limit. You no longer have the ability to use the freemium model. But that's okay, because we actually have another option for you. And for $4.99 a month or $5.99 a month or whatever the cost was, you could purchase an upgrade to the next product. And when you're at that point, it's a complete no-brainer. I was already a customer. They captured me as a freemium product, and then I upgraded for basically $60 a year on a product that's essentially going to help me keep $1,500 or so, $1,500 to $2,000 on an annual basis. The thing is, and to be honest with you, there was a 5th email because I ignored their original overtures and I ignored their 4th email, and then I got to the point where they actually discounted the service for me, and that's how I got it for $60 a month, or $60 a year, excuse me. And so that's a really great example how I was already a customer of theirs. And for those of you who are maybe thinking, hey, wait a minute, it was a freemium product. All you did was download it. You weren't a customer. Let's make something really clear. Whether I pay for something or not, whether your customers pay for something or not, if you engage in them in a relationship by providing a product or service, whether they paid or not, they are a customer. And there are expectations that come with that. They spent marketing dollars in making sure that I found out about their service. I provided them a form of currency in order for them to provide that service to me. That form of currency was access to my phone, access to my contact information, access to my GPS unit, and access to knowing where I was coming and going. And that is absolutely a form of currency. They then, with very little effort, set up an automated email series. All it cost them was the time for somebody on their staff to write and design those emails and to set up the marketing automation required to send me those emails over a 5 to 7 day period. But after that, there was almost no interaction whatsoever. They impressed me so much though, and they showed me the value by showing me how much money I was keeping on an annual basis, that it was easy and simple for me to be upsold to their product that has unlimited miles and unlimited trips. So that's essentially what we're covering today in our onboarding communications. Tomorrow, I want to talk to you about how to keep 90% of your customers on a transaction-by-transaction basis. We're going to continue our talks on retention marketing and onboarding communications. If you like this talk, I hope that you will share it with your friends. Please give me some love. Share it here, share it on Twitter. I can be found at ROMI Interactive. Again, my name is Robert Vacola, founder of ROMI Interactive, where I help teach business owners and entrepreneurs how to attract and keep happy customers. We're talking onboarding communications all week this week, and I will see you back here tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we talk about how to keep 90% of your customers and earn more business from them. Tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Can't wait to see you back. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day, guys.